Can you hear me now? Good. Not sure why that changed. Oh well. This is the way we test. Can you hear me now? Good. Not sure why that changed. Oh well. This is the way we test. Can you hear me now? Good. Not sure why that changed. Oh well. This is the way we test. Good. Not sure why that changed. This is the way we test. This elevator doesn't seem to be working. Not sure why. This elevator doesn't seem to be working. Not sure why. Okay, clearly that's a bug. It's not on my end. Yeah, the geometry is just not moving. Let's, I guess reload? Again, that's not on my end. That's... Let's make sure this is still going out on Facebook, because I'm not quite sure how the video stuff works there. Theoretically, it should be. Oops. Looks like we're still live. Make sure this is still going out on Facebook, so I'm not quite sure how. Good! Because I don't need to be streaming it back to me, because that's going to kill the quality. We'll keep that closed. Star Citizen, that wasn't a very auspicious start. That's the first real bug like that I've run into, I think. Because I've gone through that elevator plenty of times by now. I've played this maybe 1 or 2 hours. I'm still extremely green. I know nothing. But it is a very, very cool game. Still alpha, still early in development. And this is very famous for having been in development for essentially ever. Maybe almost 10 years, actually. I got, when it was first announced, I followed it pretty closely, as a lot of people did. Then I ignored it after, the first half decade. And now it seems to be almost good. So we're getting there. It's incredibly, well, you'll see. It's the only thing like it. So they can take as long as they need to. Because what we already have is the best space game there's ever been. And it's still very early alpha. It's not feature complete. There's only one system. Yeah, I know there's going to be a server wipe with the next big update. I think it's 3.15 is what people are saying. I might have that wrong. So we're just kind of learning stuff now with the expectation that everything we do is just more ephemeral than most video games are at the moment. Eventually, persistent will mean persistent, but right now, persistent means, asterisk until it's not. But still, very, very fun, even knowing nothing matters. So when things do matter, when they are persistent, this is going to be a killer game. If you want to get into streaming, this is probably the thing to start with, because once the server wipes are done, or however that's going to be handled, once there is a persistent universe that will stay persistent for years, this is going to be kind of EVE level with regards to PvP, that sort of thing, as far as the intensity of the involvement, not necessarily the scale. EVE is EVE. There are technological reasons why you probably can't have 1,000 people fighting each other all at once in something like this, but you'll get the feel of EVE with maybe 20 people in a fight, just because of the nature of things and how intense it is. Because, I mean, EVE fleet fights, if anyone's ever been a part of one, or you've just watched them, you just sit there and you just wait for the lag to be done, and you'll die, and then you'll learn about it 5 minutes later. It might be much better now. I haven't played Eve in a very, very long time. But back in my day, fleet fights they're much more interesting in retrospect. Um, I don't play Eve anymore, and I haven't for years, but you still watch a good summary of the wars that take place, and it's still one of the most compelling stories going on right now. And hopefully a lot of that energy will be captured in Star Citizen, but without the boring factor of actually sitting through a siege in Eve, which is... I've never done that. I never had any interest in enjoying a high-end war corp. I was much more interested in like kind of the grimy stuff around the edges of the universe. Um, but fun to be a part of. Fun to have flown in the same universe as those things were happening. Fun to go to the battlefields, things like that. I just can't imagine. It's basically the video game equivalent of linear warfare. It's like you really don't want to be one of the guys in the line, but to watch the entire thing, that's interesting. The only people really playing Eve are the people that are the commanders in the various alliances. Those are the people that are playing Eve. The rest of the people are pawns. Another reason why Eve is so compelling. I don't really play nice with others though, so I don't. So that kind of structure never really was that compelling to me. But still, the rest of the universe was interesting enough to fiddle around with for a few years. Played for maybe 2 years on and off. If you ever got your high-end mining minerals stolen by a guy in a badger, might have been me. Or if anyone hunted your Raven down while you're care bearing with some PvE stuff and tricked you into going PvP with his PvP kitted Raven and then shot your $1 billion worth of modules to pieces, that also may have been me. Not sorry. Also, I'm not giving you the username. Username is not the same as the one I will have here. Yeah, but I think I've gotten my being a naughty boy in space phase out, and my Star Citizen approach will be a little more team-oriented, shall we say. Or maybe not. We'll see. Maybe I'm just an asshole, and there's nothing I can do about it, and I'll always be that way. And I'll just always be a pirate. But we'll see. Alright, now let me make sure that this doesn't go to a slideshow when we're actually... It's too loud for me to hear. Make sure it doesn't go to a slideshow when we start streaming the actual gameplay. Because this is not optimized well. I mean, I don't have a great computer at all. I need to upgrade it pretty badly, but it's not this bad. Star Citizen's pretty unoptimized / it's just always going to have a really high requirement because of just the nature of the technology. So between those two things, frame rate's not going to be great. But I'm not really frame rate sensitive. I guess I grew up on Nintendo 64, that sort of thing. So, boy, if you're over 15 frames per second, I'm good. Sucks to be a zoomer, I guess. You grew up on 30 1080p or 60 or higher than that. There we go. But when your formative experiences were Mario 64, GoldenEye 007, this is basically magic. I was gesturing at the camera as if you can see me, but I don't think you can. They have it turned off at the moment. Yeah. That's just for frames. It'll be back on if I do like Empyrean or something like that where it doesn't matter. Eventually I'll get this stuff upgraded, but oops. For the moment, we're making do. Actually, this is watchable. I think the audio usually stays listenable when it's the visual that I gotta be worried about. I'm good. That looks okay. show. Okay,
Start
so
streaming it,
we'll check that again when we get in a spaceship. But I'm thinking if it's streaming okay now, it should be streaming okay no matter what. Right? Because it's all real busy. And there's less geometry in space. That's why space games were so prevalent in the younger days of gaming, because you can get a lot of... I mean, there's just not much to put in space, right? It's just a big void. So for performance reasons, a big empty volume, real easy. Real easy to simulate nothing. That's what's so impressive about Star Citizen, is that they're filling space with, I mean, almost believable stuff. I mean, this is very Knights of the Old Republic right here. That's all kind of silly, but I love it. Like, the Star Wars influence in this game is just all over. It's like a one part Star Wars, one part Battlestar Galactica, there's some Elite in here. It's wonderful. I've yet to find some part of this game that wasn't like, okay, that's a really cool way to do that. Like this, there's actual mass transit. The idea, it's kind of like Star Wars Galaxies a little bit. And there's actually a lot more Star Wars Galaxies influence in this than Knights of the Old Republic. I just think Knights of the Old Republic because that's visually kind of what it looks like. But there's a lot of the soul from Galaxies in here already. Like, especially this, the forced communal experience of waiting for transport. That was a huge part of Galaxies. Back when Galaxies was good, before Jump to Lightspeed, especially before everything that came after Jump to Lightspeed, there's never been an MMO like it. I hope this will attract a lot of the old Star Wars Galaxies vets from back in the day, because boy is there the vibe. I mean, this moment right here is just straight out of Star Wars Galaxies. Now, obviously, we're in early alpha. This is an off-peak time, but if there are other players around, they could be in here with me. We'll see if we can come across anybody. The multiplayer aspect of this is still very, 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 very much in the infant stage. Eventually, they're going to have a lot of really interesting tech, server meshing and things like that, so that the feel is that everyone's in the same universe, very much like EVE again. It's a smarter version of instancing, or it's not exactly instancing, but it's not exactly not either. It's really interesting if you look at the tech behind this. I'm not a, I don't know programming, I don't code, I've never made a game, but just as a gamer, like you know enough about game design, just having played good games and bad games, and you know enough about the tech, and just every time you look at the gameplay and the tech of this, especially on the visionary sense, I mean, this is a gamer's game. It's not much else you can say about it. This is a space game I think everyone's wanted for forever. I mean, I'm not as old as some other people. Like, I didn't play like the original Elite when it came out, or the original X-Wing. I kind of came into space games with X-Wing Alliance, which is still pretty old. It's older than a lot of people. But ever since X-Wing Alliance, I mean, this is what like I wanted that to be. This is very much what I wanted that game to be. I don't see any. Well, there's definitely some X-Wing influence in here with the transferring power between systems, that sort of thing. That's very much an X-Wing deal, an X-Wing Alliance deal. I know other games have done that too, so maybe it didn't come explicitly from them. But whoa, why did I just fall down? Why is he looking at me like that? Okay, hold on. I think I just made a fool of myself in the universe. What are you doing, buddy? Wait, can I shake his hand? Look back at me. No? Well. Just pressing random places. There's no significance to any of that, I promise. Oh, all this is just me going to my spaceship, by the way. I'm not just running around randomly. This is the most direct route that I know of. I just have the most basic of the basic starter ships, just a Mustang. If anyone wants to donate something more exciting, I'll take it.
Whatever your transaction, we wish you a beneficial and prosperous stay.
Although, actually, now I just want to go steal a better ship. So I guess I'll be an asshole in this universe too, at least until the server wipe. Yeah, eventually you're going to be able to do boarding and things like that. I mean, the piracy opportunities are going to be almost irresistible.
Want your company to be in good company? Our corpse
I imagine live streaming, just like you and the boys going to steal some ludicrous high-end ship that someone bought themselves with real money. That's what I want to do. Just the tears alone of some like IRL rich person losing their ludicrously expensive ship would be quite fun. They just fly into the sun or something. Finger 3, alright. Common laws. ACAB, ACAB, ACAB. We pirates you. Note the name, Riker Memorial Spaceport. Had to be Riker, right?
Obey all security and customs personnel at all times. Their job is your safety.
That's really funny. That line, that was very much a fascist future space corporation state feel to it. They're nailing the atmosphere. This is very dystopic. Slash slightly not dystopic. Oh, hey, what's... Huh? What's going on here? I know I crashed this thing, but... why is it still crashed? Welp. Let's crash it better. Okay, look at the detail on this screen. It looks so lived in. Like, all that is like, these are simulated, like, I don't know, Cheeto dust on the screen or whatever. Okay.
Welcome. Your journey begins now.
All this is clickable. All this matters. This isn't just... like, everything on display is real in-game. Like, it's not just clutter, like in most space games. They're not just blinky lights and stuff. Like, all this has gameplay implications. For example...
You're okay to launch.
I like the, they do the launch and landing sequences like you have in Elite, but... oops. Hold on, let me... boy, this thing is not handling well. But it's not like the weird coin slot thing like you have in Elite. It's much more... well, you just saw it. Much more realistic. I've never liked the... it's like, I get the challenge of landing Elite with any kind of speed. I mean, obviously slow is easy. But it's just a weird design. You'd never have a spaceport designed that way. I mean, where you land on the inside. Kind of like an X2. It's fun, but it's not realistic. I mean, you just dock on the outside, right? Okay, now let's check to make sure we're not a slideshow. We are not a slideshow. Okay, now, ooh, we're not a slideshow. Okay, okay, look at beautiful. Okay. So that's the city we just left. There's the sun coming up. Or going down? Going up. Yeah, it's going up. Looks like time compression is pretty... Right? Because I can see it moving, can't I? Or is it just the clouds moving? Who knows? And in Period, you'd see all the planetary bodies moving pretty rapidly because everything was compressed time-wise. I don't think they do that here, but they maybe do. Everything else is 1-to-1, so you'd expect it to be a natural 24-hour timescale, or whatever the specific planets are, because obviously they'll have different rotational speeds. I'm assuming they're taking care to keep all the celestial bodies in, the correct locations from a physics point of view. Because you could do that sim pretty easily. But I honestly don't know. They could just be static. I mean, obviously they are in the code, but as far as like the in-universe sense of things, like how long it takes to go from one to another should change a little bit from time to time. But maybe or maybe not. It doesn't really matter, but that's just one of those little details that's probably in here, because all the other little details like that seem to be. I'd be kind of surprised if it wasn't. Okay, let's see here. Where do we want to go? Never been here before. And I very much have no idea what I'm doing. So I would assume that I would make a number of critical errors here, but we'll see. That way, right? So I point at it, and I think we hold. No, it's calibrating. Now we hold. There we go. This is definitely not hyperspace. It's quantum drive. Which is not hyperspace, I promise. There's the loading. They should probably make that more smooth. I assume they will. Because we clearly just went from one server to another, or one logical bit of the game to another, if it's not a physical server. It's a good loading screen, though. It's like the elevators in Mass Effect. If people don't know it's a loading screen, it doesn't feel like a loading screen. It feels like I'm going through hyperspace right now. It doesn't feel like I'm waiting for the next server to load. If you're gonna get this, get an SSD, by the way. If you have a mechanical hard drive, which you shouldn't anyway, it's the current year plus 6, so get yourself an SSD if you want this game. At least an alpha. Probably when it really comes out too. You can only optimize so much. There's just so much going on. You need the SSD to Make your storage not the bottleneck.
Quantum travel complete.
Ugh, I should totally do a do an ASIC version of this. Whoa, okay, what are we doing here? So I see a lot of red dots. Or red diamonds. Sort of those out of range? Obstructed. Okay, obstructed by the asteroids probably. And let's take a look at one of these asteroids, I think. Add a quantum mode there. Now I don't know. Interesting. So if you take out the Gamma ray, so this is so interesting. Okay, so that's just an implied mission there. If you want to get some stuff done, knock out the Gamma ray, or have your boys do that, and then go do whatever dirty stuff you need to do before they figure out you're there. That's why this game's so interesting. That's very Star Wars. We got to go take out the Gamma ray, so that the rest of the team can go do whatever needs to get done without alerting the security forces. That's why this game is awesome. That's how you do gameplay, by the way. I love emergent gameplay. What is that? That's a station, isn't it? Oh, we gotta go visit that eventually. Let's figure out how to mine. I see it over there. Flashing light of some kind. And I think everything here I can navigate to. Okay, so... how do you mine? I know there's a mining mode. Yeah, mining mode M. Oops. So... Alt M. Okay. I'm just looking for the very basics. So I'm not really looking at guides for this game that much unless there's something I generally can't figure out. Or for things like this where you just need the basic mechanics. Because what I like is exploration and discovery, and people just tell you how things work. I mean, it's a game. Part of the fun is figuring out the game. So, Montanium. Quant. Hilarious. So Quantanium gets you rich. Interesting. I bet finance bros love this game. Like Eve. It's a very finance bro kind of game. If you're a finance bro, finance me, please. Thank you, daddy. Or mommy. Whichever. Okay, so... can I actually not mine? Okay, so I can... so I need a specific tool. Okay, so I'm not equipped for mining at all, I think. Which is unfortunate for this moment, but isn't that cool that I'm not equipped for mining? I have to go find a place to buy some specific equipment. That's neat. If you don't like that, you're not gonna like this game, but if you like that, you will love this. I love complexity. Okay, so... Wow, I can make a jump 57 kilometers? Ooh! That's cool. Okay, well that's tactically interesting, isn't it? Reminds me of something you can do in Eve, where you can basically, what is it? I forget what it's called. It's kind of like a warp beacon. People can just warp directly to you in certain instances. You can open up they have a specific name for it. It's not a portal, but it's like, you can think of it that way. You set a little scout ship in, it opens up the thing, and then everyone can jump specifically to that one spot. It's used a lot in high-end warfare, and low-end warfare. I can't remember what it's called. But if you ever played Eve, you know what I'm talking about. But anyway, that little thing where you can make little jumps, because that was, what, 30 kilometers that I jumped? I mean, in like a big high-end fight, you're gonna have little task groups doing a lot of that stuff, maneuvering around, jumping a little bit, assuming they let you do that in a combat situation, which I assume they would, right? For example, let's say I'm trying to attack this station. You could send someone behind it, and then while the defenders are coming to meet you, you jump behind the place and hit it from the back. Something like that. I mean, that's just the first thing that comes to mind. But that's a lot more interesting maneuver warfare than just, you know, dogfights. Which dogfights are great, but, you know, if you're in a... Like, if there's a big fleet battle, just like a general furball isn't really... I mean, it's fun, but it's not all that interesting tactically. There should be a lot of sharp, short engagements that constitute a fleet engagement, in my opinion, at least. Again, I've only PvP'd, I think, one person, who I did shoot down, so I know nothing about the PvP aspect of this. Oops, maybe don't shoot the station. Okay, let's see here. Unlock the throttle. I'm using mouse and keyboard because I have a ton of experience with the Egosoft X series, and this is just this is just the best way to play that game. So I know a lot of people use HOTAS, hands-on throttle and stick systems, but that's just not natural to me. Now, if I were gonna do like a real setup to get VR and stuff like that, definitely got to go HOTAS, but because that's how. Or maybe two sticks, actually, because of all the different... because this is a... What is it? 6 degrees of freedom ship? Or more than that, because you can do that. So is that 8 degrees of freedom? So, like, 2 sticks would probably be the best way. Or maybe like an Xbox controller would work pretty well, I think. I do want to get VR for those, so that must be amazing. And if you're doing VR, then you need the 2 sticks, because that's similar to how it's simmed, just for immersion's sake. But keyboard and mouse seems to be pretty good. You can make this thing dance. And for aiming purposes, you can never beat keyboard and mouse. Hello, what's all that? That looks like something that could be stealable. What is that? Is that a lock symbol? No, those are guns. Okay, those are guns. Interesting. So I can land here, right? Oh, interesting. So I guess I could request permission, right? And then
Please proceed to assigned landing bay.
see, is that not cool? Hence the name Star Citizen. You're doing all the little day-to-day, moment-to-moment, you know, talking to ATC, all that sort of stuff. And I assume the comms game will be vastly improved with spoofing and things like that, being able to talk your way into places you shouldn't be. Hopefully, at least. There's a lot of potential there. Have a charisma stat or something. Or actually, what would be interesting if they made it like an actual persuasion game somehow. I'm sure you could do that. Different people, different NPCs have different personalities, and kind of like a Bethesda sort of system, but make it more, you know, put more to it. Because I definitely want to bribe someone into giving me permission to land somewhere I shouldn't be. I 100% want to do that. I think I'm supposed to land here, right? Right? No. Obstruction. So they gave me a assigned pad, but I wasn't paying attention.
Warning, you are blocking an active flight bay. Please
I heard
vacate
you.
the vicinity.
Let's pay attention this time. I love the flight model. Okay, so I should have something showing up on my screen, right? Am I in the wrong mode? I'm in a scan mode right now, right? Is the blue? I guess I thought I flew the blue dot earlier. Okay, I assume that's the bay, isn't it? What else would that be? I thought I went over there and it told me I was not authorized for that landing bay. Yeah, that's where I was. Or is that another ship? That's another ship. Miscellaneous Prospector. So there must be a different bay that I'm supposed to go in. Presumably there'd be an open door? If you know what I'm supposed to be doing here, this must be maddening to watch. But I genuinely don't know what I'm doing. I don't see anything on the radar. Or I don't see any symbology. Oops! I hit the go faster button, not the stop button. Oopsie daisy. Okay, now I think I'm on that station now. I don't know if I... Yeah, I don't think they have... I just woke up. I don't think that's going to be how things work eventually. Okay, where the hell am I? There's nobody around. Let's see a map. This feels so different than the other space station. Or no, because that wasn't a space station, that was actually on a planet. But the feel's very different. I love it. Everything's worn and lived in. It's all a very believable world. I mean, compared to anything else. I mean, look at that, the women are ugly and everything.
Hi, welcome to the store.
Can I buy something? How do I buy something?
Nice to see you again.
What is that, shampoo and stuff? Okay. Alright.
Hey, back again, I see. Welcome.
What's up, buddy? Okay, this feels like a communal area, so here we go. Yeah? Yeah. I think we'll head down to a planet and do some flying around. That's what I'm in the mood for. See if we can crash in some terrain. And maybe we'll figure out a mission or something. See if we can get some money going and maybe figure out some mining later once I can buy the equipment for it. I haven't actually talked to any NPCs, so I don't know if this is emergent. It's just I'm looking at the world and I'm seeing the obvious things I need to be doing, and I'm creating my own emergent story just naturally. That's why this game is so interesting. This is how you design a game. For multiplayer, for massive multiplayer stuff, you have to design a living world and give players enough places to touch things and interact with things, and then they kind of run with it. That's what Eve did. If you just look at Eve, it's not very... All it did was it just gave players some tools, and the players just created these just wild narratives of just epic space wars with it. I love emergence. That's what Bethesda needs to do with the next Elder Scrolls, is make a living world instead of a theme park like everything else is. They need to make it so that you can, so there's like a real economy in the world, so you can, I don't know, kill everyone in a ebony mine if there aren't any more ebony swords made, that sort of thing. Make playing a thief actually useful. Because if things just spawn, they don't have any value. It's a really good mod for the X series, Mayhem. If you like living worlds with actual economies that matter, it's a brilliant mod. Pad 2. Okay. This might not be. Hangar 2, right? I think docking ports are for bigger ships that dock to the exterior. But I'm just a little teeny tiny guy, so I assume I'm in the hangar. Although maybe not. Pad might mean port. I seem to be moving away from my ship. Yeah. I'm gonna need to go to port 2, I think. Also, maybe not. Yeah, I don't know. Let's see. Yeah, here's where big ship would dock. Which, of course, you can get. Multi-crew ships supposed to be so much fun. Now that's what I think that's what I want to stream eventually. Get in a group with some larger ships and do some multi-crew shenanigans. Do some Firefly stuff. Ugh, how many people are gonna have a ship named Serenity in this game? If you come across a ship named Serenity, it's on site. Blow it up. Because whoever owns it is a lame person for naming it that. Just because everyone will name it that. You don't want to have a ship with the same name as other people. That's incredibly lame. Ships are like horses. They need a unique name. How do I get there? Pad 2. Pad 2, pad 2, pad 2. So there's probably transit? Right? Hey, lady. Ooh, that's neat. It handled that running into and jumping over the rail really well. Okay, so... Pad 2. Closer? And farther away again. So I've tried Hangar 1, Hangar 3. Ooh, I hope they have a stock market implemented at some point. With a player company as listed on the exchange as well. That would be fun. Okay, so I've tried, I think I went to Hangar 3 as well, didn't I? Head 2. So... Hangar 1. That says 3. So there's going to be a pad 2. with its own set of hangars. Right? I think. So, back to the lobby. This is one of those things where I could look it up, but it's more fun to just, like, explore. Although eventually, I will get bored of this particular station and just look it up. I'm still over a kilometer away from my stupid spaceship. I wonder if I could just move it. If I can store it and then retrieve it here. Same place. Pad 2. Don't see any markings. Because I think I'm on docking port 3 right now, right? So maybe pad 2 and then one of the specific hangars. Hello. Where am I? Ooh. I didn't see the scroll bar. Okay, there we go. Pad 2, off we go. Did I? Okay, I just disconnected from the game server for some reason. Am I still... Is that me or is that them? Still very much alpha, so you see all the gremlins. So I probably wouldn't buy this until those gremlins are gone. But am I still... Is that me or is that... That's them. Bye. Huh. Yeah, that's their end. Alright, well, we will call that an end to the stream, I guess, since I literally can't continue. Because I'm talking to you. About an hour anyway. But yeah, so you can see the potential, right? I didn't really get a chance to do all that much, just kind of fiddling around, but I mean, just in what I did here, that's more than you can do in, you know, X or any other game. And the economics of this game, assuming they keep going the right direction they're going, will be better than X. I'm interested to see the production side of it. Hopefully it's not just, you know, selling things that were drops from NPCs and such. Hopefully there's an actual real production side of the game. but I know nothing about that. So anyway, gonna stop for the moment and RSI, get your server working. Talk to you later.